Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of EP Live. We've got a great show for you, and we're going to start things off with our rundown, and I have to thank a couple of people. Brand new sponsor, Justice Thompson. Thank you so much for your support. And Raymond, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Raymond. And we got you this rundown. It looks like the Assassin's Creed franchise isn't taking a breather. More rumors have come in that Ubisoft is planning to release a new game called Assassin's Creed Odyssey, possibly before the end of the year. French gaming website Jeux Video has posted an image of a promotional keyring bearing the title and a Spartan warrior helmet, indicating that the game will take place in ancient Sparta. Keep in mind that no official announcements have been made, so this could be a hoax, but if a new Assassin's Creed game really is on the way, don't be surprised if it's announced at E3. I really hope that we're not getting an Assassin's Creed game at the end of this year. I loved Assassin's Creed Origins. It was awesome. It's still awesome because I haven't been able to go back and find every little damn thing in that title. These games are massive, and that's a problem. I think they make such big, massive experiences that are worth letting us breathe with. They just did the Assassin's Creed Origins educational release, and they got that into schools all over the place to let us explore ancient Egypt. Ubisoft, let us breathe with these games for a little bit. I think that's kind of what you've been suggesting and planning and working through with, For Honor and with your Rainbow Six Siege, and I think that's the smart play. Let us live here for a little while. We don't need a new Far Cry. We don't need a new Assassin's Creed for a little bit, but I'll be excited to play this if it's coming. An ancient Greek Assassin's Creed, taking place in Sparta. That sounds awesome to me. But honestly, I hope it's a 2019 release. All right, a new Sonic game was announced yesterday, and now big news about the long-awaited Sonic movie has come in. Variety reports that the big-screen Sonic film will star Westworld's James Marsden. Clearly, he is a host capable of anything, and the host is the Westworld reference. It's unclear who he'll play, but we do know that the film will be a live-action animation hybrid, so Marsden could be a flesh-and-blood human character interacting with the cartoon Sonic. Marsden had a similar role in the 2011 film Hop. The Sonic movie is expected to begin shooting soon and will hit theaters in late 2019. I love James Marsden. I actually met him at E3 2 years ago. He's a video gamer. He was at the Xbox booth, and I walked up and I said, "You were great as Cyclops, and I'm a fan." And he actually makes things that he's in much better, and that includes Westworld. Every time he's on screen, I feel like I can breathe a little bit because he's such a competent actor, and that gives me a little bit of hope in this Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which I am, marginally excited about, but who knows? This might be a lot of fun. I love the character. It's just that the character, as he's embellished with lots of other characters and the humans that he's interacted with in the games and stuff, I become less and less excited about him. But you can't just have, a property with one character. You have to kind of add all of this extra stuff, and if you get an actor that's as solid as James Marsden, maybe you're going to make some interesting, stuff for Sonic to interact with. What do you guys think? Are you excited? Do you want human characters and stuff? Let me know in the chat, or if you watch this as an archive in the comments below. I'm curious to hear what everybody thinks about all this stuff. Now, a huge controversy for the video game industry was active over the last few days. Earlier this week, Valve removed a new game called Active Shooter from the Steam marketplace. The game, which had only been released a few days earlier, allowed players to take the role of an active shooter at a high school or the SWAT team trying to take him down, and the game actually allowed you to murder students. Valve itself had nothing to do with the making of the game and says it was created by a single developer who they've had problems with in the past. To prevent problems like this from happening in the future, they promised to have a broader conversation about Steam's content policies going forward. Dear God, do we seriously need game makers to explore this as subject matter, as fodder for, a game at all? Clearly, it's an exploitative move. It's trying to kind of get into this idea of controversy to sell product, and it's horrifying, It's just the wrong play. This is a serious discussion that children are having with the world right now. Students are having with the world right now about guns in schools and, how we secure these schools and let these kids be safe. All I really want is to have the students safe and I don't want scumbags trying to make money off of the idea of fantasizing the idea of killing students. I just think that just is despicable. So I applaud Valve on their efforts to remove this and to stop products like this being available to people out there. Certainly, we have lots and lots of games that explore some really heavy topics, and I think that's fine, that's valuable. But this is just a shoddy experience made to kind of capitalize on awful, and we just can't have that. You know, it's just gross. You got to do this with some sensitivity and a sense of responsibility. You know, this is really happening. Kids are really dying, and families are getting shattered, and we need to approach this with some maturity and some common sense and some decency. And so I applaud Valve for taking that off. That is just a disgusting idea. All right, and speaking of glorified violence, audiences are finally heading back into the danger zone. Tom Cruise has revealed that the long-in-development Top Gun sequel has officially begun filming, bringing years of development hell to an end. The film is expected to see an aging Pete Maverick Mitchell take the role of a flight instructor, teaching a new generation of pilots, and also deal with the rise of unmanned drone aircraft in the U.S. military. Top Gun 2 is being helmed by Joseph Kosinski, who previously directed Cruise in the sci-fi movie Oblivion and also directed Tron Legacy. You know, I dug Top Gun in the 80s. I thought that it was a fun movie. I certainly saw the sort of the propaganda type elements of it to kind of champion the idea of Navy pilots and all that stuff. And I wasn't crazy about that aspect, but you know what? Like, it was also a fantasy, and it was brought to the screen quite well by Tony Scott and company. I mean, it's an iconic movie for sure, and it really helped to cement Tom Cruise as an international movie star. So I'm excited to see how they're going to reframe all of that. Hopefully, it will be made with a little bit more sensitivity, and it won't just be this rah-rah, you know, let's all go and become military pilots kind of thing. I mean, certainly drone warfare is also a hot topic issue and a hot button issue out there. So hopefully it will also be made with some maturity. I like Kosinski as a filmmaker. I think he's a meticulous craftsperson who has some, you know, problems really getting into the emotional heart of some of his scenes and some of his characters. But I also am a fan of Tom Cruise and the movies that he has made, you know, since Top Gun. He's a guy that really throws his all into the work that he does. And certainly there is, you know, lots of prime real estate in this subject matter. The idea of somebody that's stuck with the military and has a military career and has perspective around all of this, presumably has seen some conflict, some real battles, and what kinds of stories and experience he's going to share with new recruits and all that stuff. I think there could be some really interesting subject matter. And you know, I like these two as a pair too. They've done some pretty cool stuff together. Oblivion was a solid film. So I'm looking forward to this, and I hope it is a cool movie that lifts off of the iconic imagery of the original Top Gun, but isn't quite as superficial and kind of surface level as that movie ended up being. But you know, most importantly, I hope it's a hell of a lot of fun. But anyways, let's take a look at this day in everything cool. Welcome to this day and everything cool for May 31st. All your base are belong to us. On this day in 1991, Sega released the side-scrolling space combat game Zero Wing on the Sega Mega Drive, following its release in arcades a few years earlier. The Mega Drive version wasn't a big success, but about 10 years later, it did manage to make a name for itself. In the year 2000, a music video lampooning the game's poor Japanese to English translation appeared on the internet, featuring the now infamous line, "All your base are belong to us," which appears in the opening of the game.
All your base are belong to us.
The video and its catchy tune became a huge viral hit and was one of the first big internet memes in the very early years of online video. The popularity of the video is especially impressive because it predates most social media platforms, including MySpace, Facebook, and Twitter. Despite the newfound publicity surrounding Zero Wing thanks to the popularity of the video, Sega has never used the opportunity to give the game an official re-release or a more accurate translation. All your base are belong to us. Yes, that qualifies as one of the things that happened that was cool on this day. I see you chatting about the active shooter story. It is a big deal and very controversial. It's hard to kind of you know, be delicate around stuff like that. I think you just have to squash that kind of awful exploitative content. You know, it's senseless. It's unbelievable. But it's great to see you, Blade Blur and Faramer and Audrey-on Leon and Paul Adamson and Terrence Foreman and everybody that's joining us today. Tyler Fisher, Sean Peterson. It's awesome. Thank you so much for watching our live show. And if you're watching this as an archive, you rock too. Thank you. Definitely want to get your feedback about Top Gun if you're excited about that. Listen, Wizard of Loneliness says, am I the only one that liked Red Dead Revolver more than Redemption? I think you are, Wizard of Loneliness. That may have something to do with your YouTube handle there as well. You may be the only one in the world, which is hilarious. All right, you guys. I have been watching Gotham Season 4. I know I'm behind. I can't keep up with every damn thing that comes out. Do you realize that it's crazy that I don't have the budget to make a full TV show with all of my friends like I used to have because there is so much content to navigate through. It's never been better to be a fan of superheroes and science fiction and video games and technology. So much stuff. But I am weaving my way through Gotham Season 4. You know, I'm a big Bat nerd. I've got the toys to prove it. I've got a review for you right now, though, for episodes 9 through 16 of Season 4. Let's go. I'm continuing my adventures with Gotham Season 4, and I've just learned that Season 5 has been picked up, so we're going to see a finality to the storytelling that's sort of been launched with this series next season, which I'm looking forward to. I've seen up to episode 16, so I'm going to review episodes 9 through 16, and all kinds of crazy stuff happens in Season 4, episodes 9 through 16, starting with the end of this pig character who actually cooks some humans and feeds them in pies. One of the things that I notice about this show is how grotesque it gets and how violent it gets. People get pulverized, they get squished by giant metal things, they get their hands smashed, they get shot in all kinds of disturbing ways. This show does not pull any punches with that, and I guess that's kind of one of the things that we understand about Batman's rogues gallery is that they are ready to do all kinds of evil stuff, and clearly that's what this season has been about, is establishing the archetypes, what we know as the Scarecrow, what we know as the Mad Hatter, what we know as the Joker, although they call him Jerome Velasco in here. We also get to know very well Sophia Falcone, who is really wonderfully played in this. She's deliciously evil. Starts off, you can't really kind of peg her, but as this little arc carries on, you really understand, man, she is maybe the baddest badass in all of Gotham, and she does some heinous things in this sucker. We also see major breakdowns with both the Riddler and Oswald Cobblepot, and we also see Bruce Wayne and Alfred have a big falling out. Bruce Wayne becomes a bit of a jerk, and actually they get into a fight, and he's partying and becoming just a scumbag, punky teenager, and Alfred has enough and he leaves, and there is a lot to unpack in this chunk right here, and I'm loving it. It's kind of crazy. I feel like they shoot this show very fast, and some of the blocking and some of the combat sequences feel really loosey-goosey, like everybody just runs in, shoots, and then runs right over there, and like it just doesn't make sense, how they would get into conflict. Doesn't look very true to the cop playbook at all, but I guess they're playing with comic framing and they got to pace. They got to churn these things out. It was my complaint last time when I talked about Gotham too, is they make too many episodes in a season. So we do retread a lot of stuff, and a lot of these characters that are brought back, it's like, oh God, we have a whole chunk with him. I know this show will be better in a next season probably because everybody has matured and they get to go out on a high note, but they are also making, I think, less episodes, so I think it will be phenomenal. But I am digging how this is ramping up. It's surprising to me. This show is kind of billed as the city before Batman, but this show is not afraid to go out on a limb and just take some real chances and get super dark and big and cartoony and elaborate. And all of the actors do a pretty good job of, getting into their roles. I love the dynamic between Alfred and Bruce and Bullock and Gordon. It's super fun. Now, I know I'm leading up to some big epic conclusion for my final sort of take on the entirety of Season 4, but I like this chunk of of episodes. These 8 episodes that I've just watched, more than the first 8 episodes of season 4, so it's escalating for me, and I'm having a very good time. And I was particularly impressed that Ben McKenzie directed one of the last episodes that I saw, and I thought it was one of the tightest directed episodes of the whole season so far that I've seen. So bravo to Gotham. Congrats that you're getting renewed for a final season for us. I'm going to give these 8 episodes 9 to 16 and 8.5 out of 10, and I can't wait to see how this season wraps up. Stay tuned. Now I've got the chat all talking about all the TV shows that they have missed, and I promise you I am going to get to Black Lightning, and I've got to get caught up on Arrow and The Flash. I know all of these seasons have just wrapped up. Supergirl as well. I watched on a recent flight to Los Angeles, I watched a couple of episodes from season 1, because I saw most of season 1 and most of season 2, but there's a few episodes that I missed of Supergirl, and man, was that a great show. It is a great show, but the shows that I watch, I'm like, God, the production is fantastic. The casting is perfect. They did a great job with Supergirl. I also like Legends of Tomorrow a lot, but what a time we live in, man. There is too many superhero shows to keep track. How did this happen, guys? You know, it wasn't that long ago where it was just impossible to find good content around superheroes and science fiction and all the stuff that we get. Now it's great. Now we get a Han Solo movie and we're like, meh, which is nuts. All right, it's time to take a look back in time. Here's our buried treasure. Back in 2009, when a company called Disney used to still make video games, they brought us a game called G-Force, and they came out on a bunch of different platforms. But the game that I think we should really be talking about is the Xbox 360 game, or the PS3 game, which was a pretty solid 3D third-person action-adventure game. And actually, they did have a 3D mode in there, kind of a cheese ball, sort of the old sort of paper 3D glasses. You could play it in 3D if you wanted. That wasn't the story, though. The story was that the mechanics in this title were actually pretty good. The concept for the game is kind of crazy. You play these little guinea pigs that are also super spies. So if you can imagine a Mission Impossible Tom Cruise as a guinea pig kind of thing, that's kind of what you're dealing with here. You've got some puzzles to solve and some installations to kind of infiltrate, and all kinds of lasers to avoid and robots to take care of. But it's family-friendly fun. You're not really blasting baddies in the face or anything like that. Everybody is, no real guinea pigs are harmed in this thing. And I think what really kind of made this game kind of stand out and makes me still think about it as a buried treasure today is the fact that Eurocom, an acclaimed developer that worked on lots of good titles, some mediocre titles as well, maybe a couple few bad ones, but they're no longer making games. Rest in peace, Eurocom. But this was a solid example of the talent that was at that studio. G-Force, still absolutely a buried treasure. Yeah, that G-Force game was actually kind of fun, and I have fond memories of that. I love when games come out of nowhere. You think they're just going to be crap, and then they surprise you. Toys for Bob made, I can't recall. It was some weird Disney Pixar sort of cash-in thing. Maybe a Madagascar game. And I'll have to do that as a buried treasure, but they blew my mind with that game. So I guess you live viewers get a little tease of a future buried treasure right there. But it's time to take a look at a review of a recently released collection of arcade games that are way back in the day, from the 80s. Here's a review of a trio of Johnny Turbo arcade games. Not too long ago, a friend reached out to me on LinkedIn, of all places, and said, hey, I've got some codes for some classic arcade games. Johnny Turbo sent me codes for Bad Dudes, Super Burger Time, and Sly Spy, Data East games from way back in the day, 80s games, that have been ported to the Switch with I think a tremendous amount of love and care and, quirks, because these games are classic games in terms of age, but they certainly aren't the best arcade games that were crafted in the 1980s. But I had some fun. The one that surprised me the most, I think, is Sly Spy, which is absolutely a love letter to the James Bond franchise, so much so that you fight bosses that are modeled very specifically on Oddjob and Jaws. And I don't remember this game. I never played it in the arcades before. You got all kinds of goons that you got to shoot. Sometimes you're underwater, so you're shooting at sharks. Sometimes you've got guys on jetpacks, and the very cool thing is sometimes they'll drop a jetpack and you can grab their jetpack and fly around like you're in the middle of Thunderball, which is kind of cool, the opening of Thunderball. It's certainly derivative of lots of those beat-em-up 2D scrolling experiences that we played in the past, but it was constantly engaging with new backgrounds and new variations on the themes. You get sequences where you're pulling up in your super fast sports car and stuff like that. Sly Spy is really cool, especially if you're an aficionado. If you like kitschy 80s arcade experiences and you like James Bond, I guarantee you're going to have a good time with that. I'd give Sly Spy an 8.5 as a Nintendo Switch collectible there. Now, Super Burger Time, you play this little chef and you're running around and you're being chased by all kinds of ingredients, and you got to run over all these burgers and squish them between patties and your buns, and you try to make as big of a burger as you can, get as many points as you can, and you can get to different stages. And there's 2-player mode in this game as well, so you can pop off Joy-Cons and play together. It sounds insane. It sounds like somebody was on drugs when they came up with this, but I can't deny that it's fun. And it's kind of challenging and difficult because you get squished and trapped by all of these different ingredients. And it's just a bizarre, oddly compelling, still works in 2018 arcade experience. I would give Super Burger Time, even though it certainly doesn't hold up graphically at all, it's still kind of fun. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Now, Bad Dudes, that was, it's a Double Dragon derivative, clearly influenced by the beat-em-ups and the scrolling beat-em-ups that we played ad infinitum back in the day. My biggest issue with this, it's not that it's a poorly constructed experience in terms of visuals or, enemy types or anything like that. It's just that the tactility of punching just didn't feel like I was really connecting. And I think you'd probably want to be standing at a machine and tapping on real buttons to kind of get that. I played through it and I was like, okay, I played it. I don't think I need to play that again. So Bad Dudes, I think, is the least exciting of these three, but maybe you have fond remembrance of it and it's there in all of its glory. They've rendered a bunch of different screen sizes and variations and raster modes, so you can add the lines onto the screen if you want. You can squish it, you can stretch it, you can do quite a bit of stuff to it to kind of make it cool. I would give Bad Dudes probably a 6 out of 10. The one thing about these experiences too is that you can constantly drop quarters into the games and just keep continuing, so you're going to be able to see all of the content, and all of this material in these arcade games was engineered to try to get another quarter out of you as quickly as possible, so you have an inordinate amount of bad guys to deal with. It just doesn't feel fair, and they're constantly coming at you, so you're tapping the continue button, then drop the quarter button, and then you just plow through it. It is a trip, man, to be playing arcade games on an airplane and you pop the Joy-Cons off, and there's something that you could have plugged many, many quarters into and you can carry it everywhere with you. It's cool. I applaud this. Keep them coming, Johnny Turbo. This was fun. I dig these retro throwbacks. The Switch is clearly perfect to play lots of classic games, and I think we are going to get lots and lots and lots of classic games on this platform. But I dug these three. So 6 for Bad Dudes, 8 for Burger Time, and an 8.5 for Sly Spy. Hello, my friends. Yes, so those arcade games were kind of fun, and I've got another Switch game, a more recent one. I've got Battle Chasers. THQ Nordic sent me a code to check this game out, and I've been wanting to play this. I played this at just before E3 last year. It's Battle Chasers Nightwar. Joe Madeira, I believe, is a big part of this game. He worked on the Darksiders action RPG series, and he's a comic book artist. I think Blaine Farrell, if he is watching, he will correct me if I'm wrong on any of this comic booky stuff. But Battle Chasers is kind of like a classic turn-based role-playing experience. And I haven't played any of it, so I'm touching it for the very first time, apart from my playtest many months ago. I'll just make sure that I've got the audio set okay. Let us know. Blake is going to join me here in a second. He's going to read along on the chat. So if you've got comments, questions, whatever, put it in all caps for us. We're going to continue. I don't think we've seen any of this story stuff at all yet, but let's jump into Battle Chasers Nightwar and find out what this game is all about. And because we've got a little bit more time today, so I'm not going to put any time on the clock. I kind of have to wrap up around 2 o'clock Pacific here, but we've got we'll get a nice good taste of this game. And if anybody has played this, they can you guys can help me out on some of the mechanics, and I'll try to be able to speak and play. I'll try. Okay. Welcome to Let's Play and Chat.
Make some noise in the game.
Okay. I took the music off, so it's pretty quiet right now.
Really quiet.
I can turn up the game audio.
That should be fine.
Right about there.
Oh, there we go.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Swing a
Debris.
sword. Can you swing a sword or something? Or like make noise? Okay. That should be good.
Is that okay? Okay, let us know if it sounds okay, and okay, I'll be able to figure it out. It's a classic 16-bit arcade.
Hi, everybody.
16-bit RPG. Thank you, Blair.
Yeah, let me know if it gets too loud or too quiet once Vic starts making noise in the game.
Okay, so I'm this little Link-looking person, and
Yeah, I thought it was Link when the loading screen for the game came on.
looks
'Cause
cool.
It looks
huh?
like Link, exactly like. Anytime you see a character,
You're awake,
anytime you see a character in a green
Breno.
hoodie,
You're all right.
Yes. Are you feeling
feeling-
better? You've been resting for a few hours.
I guess
this
I
is a
was-
good time for ASMR.
Was I dreaming or did you leap off the ship?
Yeah, let me know if the audio's good or
I'm
bad.
getting an echo in my headset, but I don't know if that's because we're going through the Elgato or whatever.
Echo from the game.
Yeah,
Can I see?
yeah.
Make some noise.
So they're talking, so you can hear the echo as they're talking.
Then what happened?
I don't know.
I don't think there's anything we can do.
I don't know. I didn't hear it over on my end.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Audio in a live stream is really tricky.
Okay, but I can hear a little bit of this. So it's not just reading it, you actually get some voiceover in this game, which is nice. Garrison fell through the portal as well.
Monica,
Sam Hain 111 says the art design is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty
Making me
cool.
hurt.
Garrison
It's got a nice aesthetic to it.
I'm so woozy, but we don't have an. I'll be fine.
First, allow me to
Little Green
fulfill
Riding
your
Hood.
need, Garrison.
Okay, so Calibretto has joined the party, so switching... Oh, I didn't read that.
So-
Calibretto's revitalized... I guess I just...
What's the premise of this game, Vic?
Okay, cool. I have no idea, man.
It's a turn-based or
Yeah,
RTS,
it's
right?
It's a role-playing experience, like a 16-bit, like a classic Square type game.
So it's RTS, not turn-based, right?
Well, it's not a strategy game; it's a role-playing game.
Okay. But is the combat real-time or turn-based? I guess we'll find out when we get into a fight.
Yeah,
right?
I believe it was turn-based.
Okay.
Okay, got some stuff. Opening up some chests. This looks amazing.
And this was kickstarted? People were saying in the chat that it was kickstarted?
I believe it was, yeah. And then THQ picked up the distribution rights, and I believe the idea is to create a new franchise, and this is the beginning of it. So it's not as ambitious and big as something like Darksiders. I always get Darkstalkers and Darksiders. It's not as big and ambitious as Darksiders.
But that
was.
robot's from Darksiders, isn't he?
No.
I'm just kidding. It looks like the Darksiders.
Oh, from
thing.
Darkstalkers?
Oh, Dark.
We're going to confuse everyone.
Isn't there a big robot like that in Darksiders? I don't know.
No, it was the Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
But didn't one of them have big robot armor?
They had armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That game was so long ago. It was like so many
They-
games come out.
They've remastered it and remade it and stuff.
Yep.
Okay, so we're just traipsing through the forest. We're looking for some activity. Don't step in the goo.
Johnny McFly
What's
wants your thoughts on Fallout 76. We kind of talked about it yesterday, but the big news today was basically a rumor from some source said that it is going to be an online game, so it's like what you predicted yesterday in the rundown.
Yeah, I feel like that's a real opportunity. It's one of these evergreen games, man. Like you never finish them, and you play them forever, and lots of people subscribe and buy little bits and pieces of it. That's the economics of it, but you can make people really love that experience. I know the Elder Scrolls Online has got tons and tons of fans that really love it. And when I played it, I was like, this is cool. I hate to say that I never I mean, I complain about how many games I get to play, but
most people don't keep playing a game years later. So,
but a lot of people do. A lot of people just find their thing, and it's their addiction, and they play for a couple hours every day. And I just can't do that. I have to review too many things. But I'd probably play the Elder Scrolls Online if I could.
I rewatched the teaser trailer for Fallout 76, and there's a line in the trailer that I noticed where someone over a PA talks about rebuilding. So I think maybe in the base building stuff in Fallout 4 was really popular.
Yeah.
So this might be some kind of like Minecraft thing.
This looks amazing.
So it is turn-based.
It's turn-based.
And you're fighting a ball
It's
of
beautiful,
green snot.
and Blair, you tell me, Blair Farrell, like you played this game already because it came out on other platforms. I think it's new to the Switch, but isn't the Switch the perfect place to play a game like this? You can pick up your story and walk away with it and play it again, while you're traveling.
The Switch is the perfect place to play any game because you can do it in bed.
True.
That's the most important thing.
Stop talking about Fallout. Finite Joy says he's too hyped already.
I just hope I can finish the game.
Or she.
I'm still mad at Fallout 4.
Yes.
That's my game-breaking glitch I got in the last 10 minutes.
Did they never
of the game.
patch that?
Well, I gave up on it, so I don't know. Maybe it's been patched by now, but...
The Pip-Boy is old, Rampant Monkey says. It takes place between 2 and 3.
Okay. I think it's going to come out this year because there's
You got to grind a lot in this game, Blair Farrell says.
There's a calendar in the teaser. Everyone's analyzed the teaser trailer frame by frame, right?
This is Bethesda's new thing.
Yeah.
They release it this year.
There's
for sure.
there's a calendar that says October 26th
Oh, really?
or October 27th.
Wow.
So it's probably going to be this year, October 27th of this year.
Crazy.
Yeah, Bethesda's good about teasing stuff. They know how to do it and drive up the hype.
Acknowledged. Okay, so now we're in this sort of overmap kind of thing. We've seen things like this is gorgeous. Wow, this is really lovely.
Timberwolf is saying that this is more evidence that Diablo should be on the Switch.
Totally.
Yeah, this kind of has that Diablo look to it.
I mean, honestly, Bethesda, it not only should be on the Switch, it should be on iPads and
Isn't it?
tablets.
Mobile version?
I don't
of
think so.
Diablo 3?
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
Oh,
by
there
now
is
they
that,
put
yeah.
Diablo 2 or something like that. But Diablo 3 would work on modern iPads, and
Yeah.
it would look amazing.
Yeah.
But it would be incredible on the Switch too.
I would be shocked if we didn't have a Switch announcement for Diablo at E3 this year. Like, I would be very surprised if that doesn't happen.
This is dope. I like this a lot already.
It's not every day you get to see a giant robot punch a giant spider.
And goo with teeth.
And watch Link fight two giant balls of green snot.
I mean, it's all about the production and the art design. This is gorgeous, man.
It's beautiful.
All right, let's do obliterate. Why not?
It's got nice animations too, like the robot when he just moved, everything kind of chunking together.
And let's do a scatter shot. Boom. Boosh!
I hope you guys can hear the game. Let us know if it sounds good. So what different attacks do you have? Do you have special?
I've got abilities, and I've got my my gut punch and a defensive matrix, and then I'm going to heal.
Oh, did you kill the spider already? It looks like you did.
I did, yeah.
It's gonna rain tomorrow. You kill the spider. Oh, Timberwolf just gave us a super chat. Thanks, Timberwolf.
Thank you very much. I want to item. There we go. Restore.
Why are your hands so big? Is that just you're wearing giant
I think
gloves?
that's a Joey Mad kind of deal. I think that's what he does. Okay, here we go.
Who's Joey Mad?
Joe Madera. I hope I'm saying his name right. He's the artist that
Okay.
that has sort of moved from awesome comic designs to working on games. He worked on Darksiders.
That's why it looks so similar to Darksiders.
Yeah.
The robot guy.
Yeah, he got kind of burned in the whole THQ, bankruptcy, and because those games are amazing. They're still working on Darksiders 3, as far as I know, so we'll probably still get that. Maybe next year, actually. One of the last games for the sort of current generation.
So is it just a coincidence that he's involved with this game and it happens to be published by THQ Nordic?
No, it's THQ Nordic that's also bringing us back Darksiders, but something has happened that it's been delayed, and it's a little vague, right? Like they're not a huge company like they were when they were based in Southern California. They're kind of they merged with the Nordic brand, so they're European based now, and they're a little bit more fiscally constrained and responsible. They can't obviously go into the bankruptcy thing again like they did. So they entered with a couple of games last year that I don't think did very well. I think this one's been doing pretty well for them, but they're taking slower steps.
What's the subtitle on this game again? It's
Nightwar.
It's called Battle Chasers.
The Blair Farrell says that there was a problem with Unity engine on the Switch.
So this is based on a comic he did.
Is it?
There's a Battle Chasers comic that he wrote.
Okay.
Just according to Wikipedia.
And there's probably a Battle Chasers pen and paper game as well, I would imagine, right?
We're so knowledgeable. We know all these things. I didn't Google that just now. Yeah, no, this is based on a comic book that Joe Madero wrote.
So he's already got all these awesome character designs and everything.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yay, we figured something out. We're smart. Rampant Monkey does kind of look like Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. I'm going to heal a little bit. Why not? And oh, not my mana. That's alright. Nice. Way to go, Bretto. I love the comic booky thing here. This is great.
Blair Farrell is curious because the PS4 version came out last year. Is it because the PS4 version came out last year and had a lot of patches? He's wondering if the Switch version is tweaked already.
Right.
You know, like, does it come with all that polish that they made post-launch?
I have no idea yet. I mean, this is my first time sort of getting into it.
You'd think it would. I mean, maybe it doesn't have all the DLC and stuff, but usually they always have, if there's a patch.
It's the latest.
Yeah, if there's a glitch or something wrong with the game that they fixed, they'll almost always have it.
This is slick though, man.
Yeah,
I'm
it looks pretty
impressed.
good. But I mean, how long is the game? There might be stuff 30 hours in that.
Right.
That's not apparent right now, right?
Okay, so let's go this way.
Rampant Monkey wants your thoughts on the new Pokemon games for the Switch.
I started to play the Quest game. It's right, Pokemon Quest or something like that. Just a little bit, but it's pretty sleepy. It's not.
It's very mobile game.
Yeah, but I like the art style, and I'm super psyched about the connection with Go and all that stuff with the new the Pokemon Pikachu and the Pokemon Eevee.
Here's the question, though, the thing I'm wondering about.
Yeah.
They've said a hardcore, serious Pokemon RPG is coming in 2019. They haven't said what platform it's going to be on. So do you think it's going to be on the 3DS, or is it going to be on the Switch, or is it going to be on Nintendo's next handheld?
What, the hardcore Pokemon
game?
game?
the one that's coming out in 2019.
That's a Switch game.
They haven't said what platform it's on, though.
It is, though.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because they didn't. I watched the video very carefully. They didn't actually say Switch.
I think people have followed up to get a confirmation, and I've heard that definitively in 2019 it's coming to the Switch.
Okay. Because that would be interesting if it.
Yeah. They got another handheld.
Yeah, if there's a 3DS replacement that launches in late 2019.
How does Nintendo sell another handheld? Would you guys buy another Nintendo handheld?
If it was like, I don't know, call it it's like some better version of the 3DS with better graphics.
That'd be a Switch.
Yeah.
Like, how do they do it now, you know?
I guess they can make like a Switch Lite. It's like a smaller, cheaper version of the Switch.
And why carve up the development responsibilities, you know? Healing Wave, let's do this.
Darkstorm CH007 is asking, do we still play Pokemon Go? No, I don't.
My daughter asks us to load up the app every once in a while. She totally saw the attraction with it. I think it's super cool.
I was big into it when it came out.
Yeah, I know.
But I sort of piddled off, I don't know.
When the Switch came out.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
when the Switch
mobile
came
games
out,
are really hard to
I
get
haven't
into
even touched
since
my
the Switch.
PS4.
Yeah. Since the Switch came out.
Yeah.
You know, because I carry my Switch around with me quite often, and if I've got my Switch and my mobile phone, even if there's a pretty cool game on the iPhone, I'm not playing that. I'm playing the Switch. If I'm going to play a game, I'm going to open up the Switch and play the Switch. You know?
Definitely.
So I don't know how Nintendo sells another handheld. I just don't know. Like, unless they do a Game Boy Classic that will play all of the software and it opens up the store, and which would be amazing. But then why not just have that?
Why not just have that on the Switch?
Right.
Paul Adamson says, "I'd get something bigger than the Switch if it became available."
Sure. Yeah.
Would you want a bigger Switch?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, I love the idea. Like, I love this. I love this iPad screen.
It's too big.
That's too big, but still,
too big for me.
It would be amazing to have something that's like a mini TV that you could put controllers on.
Yeah, but you just plug it into a TV if you want to.
Yeah, but this can go everywhere.
I think the Switch, for me, it's a good size. I wouldn't want it to be any bigger, but
Yeah.
I could see them making a smaller and a bigger version
Yeah.
to have different form factors just for people who want it. I guess that would make sense. I could see them doing that like maybe in the next year or two. Might be too soon to start doing it now.
I need to heal. Who can I heal? Oh, I can heal. That's it. They target him. Okay. Boom. Okay, and we are going to...
Paul Adamson, I haven't tried Jurassic World, Pokemon Go ripoff game. What's it called?
I think that's it. That's
That's
the
what it's
subtitle.
called? Yeah, I haven't tried it yet. Have
Pokemon
you?
Go, Jurassic Go.
Yeah, it's called Jurassic Go. Dinosaur Go. You haven't tried it yet? I take it either, Vic?
No, I could have got in on the beta, but I was at Judges Week, so I
Yeah, because it had a soft launch in Canada.
yeah,
I think.
They were wanting me to check it out, but I just haven't had the time. Unfortunately,
I'm
I've been playing a million other games.
and also the amount of battery that those AR games take up, like my phone would be dead in 5 minutes.
Right,
So
right.
that's always a concern of mine, is running out of battery, because my phone's like 3 years old, so
Right.
the battery goes in like 5 minutes if I do crazy shit.
I want
like
to
that.
check it out. I definitely want to check it out, and I'm psyched to see the improvements to Pokemon Go, and I'm always down for new portable games, but for new mobile games, but I definitely find that since the Switch came out, and if I've got the Switch, I'll load up a Switch game, and there's so many games on the machine now that, like, it is busting. There's lots of great titles on this thing.
Do you think, because that Pokemon Quest game was clearly made as a mobile game first,
Yeah.
that they decided to put on the Switch?
Yeah,
Do you think Nintendo will do more of that, and should they?
I think they're seeing a direct correlation to players that love their software that also were spending time on mobile, shifting their focus to the Switch. I think the Switch is succeeding at almost everything it was set out to do, and they are now saying, well, why are we just focusing on mobile when this stuff will also work on our
Yeah,
platform?
but remember what Tommy was saying the other day when you were interviewing him? He
Mm-hmm.
was saying how it used to be curated, now it's just a dumping ground for shit. Because that Pokemon Quest game is not very good. It's very mobile.
Right.
It doesn't feel like it belongs on a Switch.
Gotcha.
So I'm just worried if
Have you played enough to say that, though?
I played it for like half an hour.
Is that enough to kind of call that?
No, that's true. I shouldn't say that yet. But
Yeah.
my first impressions of it were not. It was just like, okay, whatever, it's a mobile game.
Okay.
I'm just worried that, because the Switch could very easily become a dumping ground for
Right.
mobile games. They could just release every mobile game on the Switch, but is that a good idea?
No.
I don't think so. They should be a little bit
Okay,
picky.
so we got to go north here.
Jordan Cunningham is saying that they'd never take the Switch out because worried about getting it ruined. You can't really have that fear with technology. I mean, if you have a laptop or a Switch or a 3DS, you can be careful with it, no matter how careful
I
you
get
are.
what Jordan's saying, though, because there's no backup for your save games and stuff like that right now. So if you bust
Okay,
this,
that's a good point.
you're losing all of your...
I'm thinking for technology in general. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna get scuffed up,
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
I travel with mine, and I use it in hotel rooms and on the planes and on buses and trains, everywhere.
You haven't scratched yours yet, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, and I travel with it too.
Yeah.
And I haven't scratched mine
Half
either.
pint
So.
or full? What do we want? We want to... do we have some items we can sell? Let's see.
Yeah, Timberwolf, a new Switch with more internal memory would definitely be good. Because that Switch memory goes up pretty quick.
Yes, I just had to. I've downloaded Earthlock to this machine, and I just had to delete a bunch of things and all the videos that I had saved on.
The cartridges
on
too.
there. Yeah.
Don't even like the Doom game doesn't even fit on a Switch cartridge. You have to download
There's
extra
definitely
stuff.
things to improve on the Switch, but it's remarkable.
It's a great little piece of technology.
how good it is, and how much power it has, because it's really a mobile device. It's really like a phone in a way, but it's really solid.
Do you think we'll see the HoloLens from Microsoft at E3? Isn't that out? Didn't they like soft launch that thing already?
It is out, and you can buy it now. I don't know if they're going to do but it's expensive, and it's more for developers or for professional applications.
Yeah. It hasn't been getting a wide retail.
And I don't know if they will. I mean, I feel like Microsoft would be more. I think they're a little gun shy because of Kinect, to just start throwing their weight around other technologies that are augmentative to what they've already got.
Well,
out
as long
there.
as they don't force users to have it,
Yeah.
as a way to spy on them to make sure that not more than 5 people are watching a movie on their console. Like if they don't do ridiculous stuff with it, then it should be fine.
So
That was part of the problem with
this is
Kinect,
for crafting.
right?
I like when games tell you should just sell all this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
Because I'm in my menu here, and these are the crafting ingredients, my consumables, my fishing, all my items. I like when there's a column that says sell all this. You found a bunch of things, you can't use it, just sell it. You got some money.
Maybe you will use it eventually.
Some of them, yeah, but in a lot of games you pick up stuff that you won't use or you don't need or whatever,
Right.
And I like that embedded, like Far Cry does that.
Yeah.
Sell all the stuff that you don't need.
Fallout's pretty bad for that.
Yeah.
Like how many?
Because like you spend a lot of time just reading all of this stuff to see whether this is actually going to be useful to you or not. And right now, none of it is, because I probably can't even craft right now. But do I want to sell it? And I don't think I do. So I don't have much. I can buy some stuff. Let's see what we got here.
Oh, that's cool.
Granny's Batwing Pie? Are you kidding me? Oh my God, they made this game for me! I can't believe it.
She made pie just for you, Batwing.
What? That's amazing. That's so cool. There's some fishing lures. Okay. I guess we go over here.
Do you know what's the story of the game?
I don't really know. I kind of skipped through some of that
fighting
stuff.
giant spiders.
Yeah, so far. Who the hell are you? That's a rough way to greet strangers.
I suppose we're gonna.
Hey, skin's got to be thick to stay your habits.
Here we go.
Speaking
Questions?
of how did you lot it?
We came in on an airship as we approached.
So they came in on an airship. Pirates approached them, ambushed them. Okay. Bandits, just thugs full of hot air. Who do they work for?
Being bandits. That's it. Let's scatter. As a few.
We were separated for. We think they may.
A few weeks. You can hit that.
If we don't.
Keep your head. Hey,
Speak to the villagers.
I'll see you later.
Okay, so let's go talk. Let's go hit a couple more of these exclamation marks. Let's go see what they have got to say. Let's go over here. Okay. Beastmaster Raha. Look at this.
Who's that? The one on with the orange hair?
Yeah, we have a fresh band of adventurers loose here in the
She
Vale.
definitely works out. She got abs like that.
Yeah, we've seen our share of battles, and I have. Though, by the way, you hold your blade, not the same kind.
The chat has gotten really off topic, so I'm desperately trying to find questions. And
What are they talking about?
No, well, Tyler Fisher just pointed that out. Yeah, it's off topic. And then he asked a very pertinent question: how are you two doing today?
Doing great.
I'm doing terrible.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tough day today at work. Talking about games and stuff.
This job sucks.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Book of Secrets, the Enchanter.
Jordan Cunningham says the systems I play when I'm out doing stuff are usually the PS Vita, Galaxy S7. Didn't that blow up?
No,
Isn't that the one?
The Note.
Okay.
Note 7.
I was scared there.
If
for
you
a
have the
minute.
coin, I have the wares.
Like, Jordan,
There's
drop it now. It's gonna blow up.
A booty blade.
Do you remember when Samsung had a phone that blew up in people's hands, Vic?
Yeah, the Note.
Can you believe that happened?
They sent
the
me
world we live
an
in?
early version of that.
Yeah.
I thought, this is great.
It was a
I
great
gave it a
phone,
great review.
but until it started blowing up,
and then, please send that back. It's blowing up everywhere. Okay.
Isn't it great that we live in a world where that happens? And then like a year later, everyone's totally forgotten about it.
Yeah. the collector.
Oh, here's a good one. Your thoughts on Metal Gear Survive?
I never played it. I actually didn't. I didn't ask for a code. Never asked for this.
I have a really funny story about that, actually.
Did you play it?
No, but I was playing Far Cry 5 with my friend John, who used to work on EP.
Yeah.
You know John.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the Metal Gear franchise, and I meant to ask him, what are your thoughts on Metal Gear Survive? But I said Metal Gear Rising.
Okay.
So I'm like, so did you ever play Metal Gear Rising? And I meant to say Survive. And he starts telling me, he's like, it really wasn't as bad as you might think. It was actually pretty good. Once you got into it, it was a really good game. I'm just like being polite the whole time. I'm like, really? And then at the end, I was like, I asked him something. He's like, oh, you mean Survive? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, no, that sucks. So the whole time I was like getting really worried about him.
Did he play that too?
Yeah, he said
he
it
plays
sucks.
everything.
Yeah. But I was like really worried because I'm like, oh shit, he likes Metal Gear Survive. Ew, I got to stop being friends with this guy.
Ruined that.
So yeah, but then I was relieved to hear he was talking about Metal Gear Rising.
Hey, some people like Metal Gear Survive. Some people bought it and like it.
Yeah, some people like Vaseline on toast.
Yeah, I guess.
There's people who like everything.
You can't fault people for what they love.
Unless what they love is Metal Gear Survive.
There's a rumor floating around that they're going to remake Metal Gear 3 for the PlayStation 4.
I'd play it. Why not?
Yes.
There's been other great Metal Gear remakes. They they remastered anyway the first couple of games in this Solid series. Yeah, I'd put Metal Gear 3's already been remade in the remastered or HD collection, right? So.
Yeah, but I think they I just look at Shadow of the Colossus. If anybody can remake stuff to that caliber, that'd be
do it that good, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 3 is an amazing game.
Johnny McFly says, "What does Microsoft have to do to win back or win at E3 or do well at E3?" I think it's all about
Halo 6, Crimson Skies.
No, it's their investments. It's their surprises in amazing new content that's going to come out this year. That's what's going to do it. If we walk out going, "Oh my God, I can't wait to play those games," those look incredible, and it's got to be more than a couple. I think they've got a good shot at being very successful at E3.
You know what would be cool if Microsoft did? We've been thinking they might do this for a couple of years now. Is some Oculus Rift support for the Xbox One?
Right.
Like the Xbox One X could definitely do VR.
I think anything that they do that lets you go backwards from the PC to the Xbox One in some meaningful, significant way.
Because they already have it
the other way,
yeah.
right? Like, essentially, a lot of what they're offering to PC players is you have an Xbox One built into your machine almost in a lot of ways, right?
So you could play any PC game on your...
that would be the ideal, but that's a lot easier said than done,
Right.
But I feel like, yeah, if existing... I'm going to do my
have some
ability
kind
here.
of Steam box type functionality for the Xbox One?
That's what I want them to do.
You want them to buy Valve.
Or partner.
Or partner with them.
Yeah.
I just want Valve to make games.
And that would be the other part of it, too. It's like Microsoft, we're paying for Half-Life 3, and it's going to be exclusive to our platform.
And a couple of people at Timberwolf says this. Yeah, if a new Half-Life game is announced at E3, I will jizz in my pants.
Oh, God.
That's for me. That's been my for more than 10 years now.
No one wants to hear that, Blake.
We went to E3.
I'm very uncomfortable.
We went to E3 2008.
Yes.
The first E3 I went to. The whole time I was like, I really hope they announce the next Half-Life game. And here we are 10 years later, and I'm still like, I really hope they announce the next Half-Life game.
Pardon me, sir. Are you announcing the new Half-Life game? Oh, look at this guy's abilities. I've got Warblade, Rally Strike. They're all action. This is great. Warblade, let's do it. And we are going to Healing Wave.
Leaf Span. Do you think Fallout 76...
And we are going to target...
Sorry, Vic's deep in thought.
Garrison.
Do you think Fallout 76 was Bethesda's big secret, or do they have something else they're saving?
No.
Do you think they're going to announce that sci-fi game that they're rumored to be making?
Starfield, yeah. I think we're gonna see some awesome new things.
How do we know the title Starfield? Was that was like
they
a
had
URL?
A trademark.
Yeah, they trademarked it. Yeah. So they're gonna announce that.
My dude is knocked out, and I can't revive him. Damn it. Okay. I don't think I have any stuff that lets me revive. Let's see. No. Abilities. Protection. No. Okay.
That always strikes me as odd in these type of games where you see the flying creature just hovering in place, because birds can't really do that. You know, they kind of have to move forward.
All
to
of
fly.
this is odd.
They're not a helicopter.
It's just supposed to be a, you know, an idea of a conceptualization of their battle.
Yeah, you would never have a battle where you just
Yeah.
stand and stare at each other.
I
Let
love
the
it.
other guy hit you, and then you hit them. Like, nobody fights like that.
What is nature's boon?
That sounds
Yeah,
like something
for the
dirty.
next 3 turns, anytime any ally receives damage, they are healed. Okay, let's obliterate and go. Oh, you are so dead.
Rampant Monkey says, if Half-Life 3 is released, I will stop smoking.
Oh yes, you should stop smoking anyway.
Stop smoking what?
Yes. Yeah,
But yeah,
choose
there you
your
go.
smokes carefully.
We should tell that to Valve. That might get them to make it. Excuse me, Gabe.
Yeah, he would like that. Blarb. That
wa-
was actually in the speech bubble right there.
Jordan Cunningham.
Blarb.
Jordan Cunningham wants a HD remaster of Vanquish. That would be pretty cool.
I have heard
Isn't it on the PC?
there's some kind of a Reddit leak of what's at the PlayStation conference, and I heard that Vanquish 2 is on that thing. So it's probably a fake
that'd be good.
thing, but could you imagine Vanquish 2? I would love that.
Yeah, Vanquish is on Steam, right?
It was also free on Xbox One. I think it might still be free.
Is it backwards compatible on the
Yes.
Xbox One? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, yeah, and then so Vanquish 2, if that gets announced, do an HD or 4K remaster of Vanquish 1, just in time for it to come out. That'd be pretty cool.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So Garrison is alive. We're getting close to level 3 for our guys. Let's go.
Ali Vendor says, Marissa Roberto is such a rare gem. What a wonderful soul she is. I miss her on the show. She was fantastic.
We do too. If we were in Toronto, or if she was here, we would be hanging out all the time. We miss her
Or if we
very
worked
much.
for Xbox or HUD.
I don't know if the Xbox would hire all of us.
It was nice because when we saw you, me, and her saw Infinity War together in Montreal. 'cause
Yes.
she was at. We were all 3 of us were at that Tomb Raider event.
Yep.
I wasn't gonna see Infinity War because it was a 11 o'clock showing, and I was like, well, it's like 2.5 hour movie. I'm
But
tired.
Marissa was so
but then
psyched.
Marissa was.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well now I have to
Yeah,
go
of course.
I want
And then
to.
we had terrible seats. We looked at the movie like this. All had crinks in our neck the next day. But it was a great movie.
It was a great movie, and it was
Yeah.
nice seeing it with you and Marissa.
That
and
was
we
so
could-
fun, right?
Yeah.
I never played Half-Life, Blake Blur says. Should I play the first game or skip to 2, Blake? Gotta play the first game, right?
You know what? No, you don't, because I played Half-Life 2 first.
Yeah.
You really
It's
don't.
way better.
Because the thing is, with Half-Life 2, the story... I could go on for hours about Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
The thing about the brilliance of Half-Life 2's story is how the story is explained through inference. Like, you look at newspaper clippings throughout the world and the dialogue. People don't just sit down and exposit stuff to you. You kind of figure it out as you go.
Ooh.
And the story, using that, jumps in. Like, there's a big gap between the first and second game. So you don't... Even if you've played the first game, you really wouldn't know what's going on in the second one, and that's intentional.
So I just healed myself. I have 2 abilities here. Pressing up is my consumables, and then I have this healing leaf thing here.
That's cool.
So I can heal my team on the run kind of thing. So I'm exploring a camp. A camp looks like somebody was here recently. The smell is certainly fresh. The bandit Grimbeard drove off.
Who's the bandit Grimbeard?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so back to Half-Life 2.
We are playing this game.
Anyway, in answer to your question, no, you do not need to play Half-Life 1 first. I would actually recommend starting with Half-Life 2.
Patrick Furtado asking the fantastic question, do we think a mini console is coming out from PlayStation or Xbox?
There was a rumor about Sony thinking about it.
I think that they would probably bring us a PlayStation 4 portable when the PlayStation 5 is announced. But it'll be something that will play all the PS4 stuff.
Like the PlayStation 4 Switch?
Yeah, probably you'll hook up to a TV as well. They would absolutely go for that. So give Nintendo a couple more years of being alone in that space. But I think that when the PS5 comes out, which will also definitely play PlayStation 4 games, and rumor is that Sony is actively looking at backwards compatibility right now too. So I think that will come. But what I've heard is that it's not so much that the technology isn't there, it's a power supply issue, that the power on the PS4, it would require tremendous batteries and the potential for city leveling explosions if you're packing around all of that portable power. And Sony's a very meticulous company with the hardware that they make. So
do you think
I want that very much, though.
Johnny McFly, do you think EA will mention microtransactions at their press conference or avoid it?
They will.
I'm sure they'll mention it very briefly, at least.
I think they're going to say E3 is the wrong place to bring it up. Because skepticism if they say we are avoiding this, or even if they do a mea culpa on it, it will not reflect well.
The reason I think they will is because they already sort of have with the announcement of Battlefield 5.
Yeah.
So I think they might just, in context of talking about Battlefield 5, they might just be like, oh, and there's no loot boxes. It might be that quick of a thing. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do a big 10-minute long story.
I wish they would.
They should, but I don't think they will.
I want EA to be more accessible and approachable, and their developers are. But like corporately, I want them to just say, look, I don't want them to have. I've said this before. I don't ever want them to have to kind of remind us that it's players first. I want them to just, by their actions.
Remember, you're our customer. We respect you.
By their actions, just kind of say, look, we're in this forever. We're going to make you awesome games forever, and we've made some mistakes. We learned from them, and we're not going to do that again. I would just love that kind of blankness, straightforwardness.
They're not going to say that.
Bluntness.
Because they are going to do it again. They're not going to abandon loot boxes altogether.
No.
They make too much money.
This is such a cool game. I just knocked out that guy. Okay.
Tyler Fisher says he wants a EPN Reviews on the Run Judgment Day renewal with all the hosts. Logistically, that would be harder than making Infinity War. Because you've had probably 30 different hosts over the years.
Well, one of them's the president of Intellivision now.
Yeah.
And
some of them work for Xbox.
And people are working directly with game companies.
Yeah, some of them haven't been in the industry for 20 years.
I mean, I absolutely would welcome that opportunity 100%. And there's certainly more than enough material out there to make lots of cool content. We certainly could use some partnerships that recognize what we've done before and say, look, let's scale up. Let's make something. We love what you're doing now, but let's grow all of this stuff. That would be amazing. So if you're watching and you're thinking, hey, these guys almost have they look like they've done television before. Maybe we could work with them. You could.
We've done television.
Yeah.
We used to be on television.
But it's a very different time. Everybody's a little bit nervous and shy about spending money, and they don't know where to go. And people are getting very wealthy just streaming Fortnite every day. Like, how do you challenge that? How do you counter program against that?
Timberwolf says, EA has made some of the all-time best games for decades and decades.
Absolutely.
The problem is that the people who make those games at EA are not the same people who market the games. They're different people.
This is true. I think that's going to call it for Battle Chasers Nightwar.
Did you? There's a dust thing in there. Did you win the game?
I won. Yeah, it's a short game. It's the shortest RPG I've ever played. Awesome. It's only 30 minutes long.
Awesome.
But I'm totally hooked already, and I can't wait to play more. This is absolutely the type of game that I want to play as I'm traveling around. And I will have a review for you when I've gotten farther into the experience, but that's all I'm going to play for Let's Play and Chat today.
Goodbye, everyone.
We are coming back with another EP Live tomorrow. Yes, we're going to do 4 this week, so we can't wait to have you join us for that. But that's going to wrap up the show, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching and tuning in, and whether you're watching this as a live presentation or you watch the archive, you rock. Thank you. Remember, we've got lots of other content for you to check out, so please do, and if you dig it, hit subscribe. There's that little bell you got to hit as well. And if you're so inclined, we've got a sponsorship button that you can check out on gaming.youtube.com/EPNTV. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.